Hello and welcome to Hamer Reviews. My name's Christopher Hamer and today I'm doing a full review of the Bowers and Wilkins PI7 True Wireless In-Ear Noise Cancelling Headphones. Now, I've already done a brief comparison between the PI7 and PI5s, which were launched at the same time, and in that short little comparison I talked about how I thought the PI7s were fantastic headphones and really worth the money. So I wanted to delve into these headphones in a bit more detail, explain my reasoning as to why I think these are so good, talk about the Bowers and Wilkins app, as well as a few other things that I've noticed during my course of testing these and putting them through their paces. So the PI7s have a pretty large group of headphones that are their main competitors. The most recent released, in my opinion, is the Sony WF-1000 XM4s, and I haven't had a chance to test those yet. Other examples would be obviously the XM3s, the version previous to the XM4s, the Apple AirPod Pros, and the sort of higher tier headphones from the likes of Sennheiser, like the Momentum True Wireless 2s, that kind of ilk. We're talking noise cancellation, we're talking really interesting audio designs to get the best quality out of a tiny little earbud, and we're just really talking the cream of the crop in terms of consumer grade wireless headphones. So Bowers and Wilkins definitely came into this guns blazing. So I really like Bowers and Wilkins as a company. I have no issue admitting that. I use their bookshelf speakers and now their 5.1 system as my sort of day-to-day listening speakers. I've enjoyed various Bowers and Wilkins headphones in the past. Their on-ears always didn't really get on with me due to, I found the earpads too warm, though I think they have improved that since that first iteration. And then I loved the wired in-ear headphones, the Bowers and Wilkins C5s. So these are really interesting. I know I like Bowers and Wilkins sound profile. So what are they like? Well, if you're listening to these, you're going to be met very quickly by a beautiful soundstage. We're talking nice deep lows, not the deepest you've ever heard, but punchy deep lows, which are exciting to listen to. You're going to get really beautiful highs as well. Very crisp and clear treble. It's very easy to discern different instruments. It's a very impressive listening experience. And throughout that, you don't lose the mid-range. And I find so often you either get great bass, then you lose the mid-range and maybe you get some highs, or you get great highs, you lose the low end, but you have the mid-range. But these really do have a nice balance to them, which I really enjoyed. I listened to a variety of genres, so I tried out some Radiohead, some Nine Inch Nails, some more contemporary music, as well as a mix of classical music, and honestly I couldn't find anything to fault it with. The listening experience using these was very good. They've achieved this by using a dual driver design. Now in earbuds as small as this, that's actually really impressive. So you have a 9.2mm bass driver or core driver, and then you actually get tiny little drivers for tweeters in each earphone as well. So you do have two drivers in each, which I think is what's giving you that really nice, crisp, clear sound quality. Of course, if you're talking headphones like these, it's about more than just noise cancellation. These cost £350. They are at the sort of top end of the consumer headphones tier. And as a result, you're going to expect high quality audio alongside other great features. So battery life is something where Bowers and Wilkins has done quite well. These have 4 hours if you're using them in ear with noise cancellation, and the case will add a further 15 hours, 16 hours or so, giving you a total of about 20 hours of listening time. Now, I think that's more than ample in headphones these size, though perhaps it would have been nice to have slightly longer from the headphones themselves. I say that because in the future, I can imagine that we're going to be flying again. And if you're on a long haul flight, that flight might last 7, 8, 9 hours, at which point you're going to have to recharge these mid-flight. That might get a bit annoying. It is worth noting when you charge from the case, it does charge quite quickly. I left them plugged in for about, must have been about 15 minutes, and I got about 30% of battery. It doesn't advertise a quick charge feature, just a smart charging case, but it clearly does work, so that's good. These do have active noise cancellation as well. So active noise cancellation is something you tend to see in premium tier headphones, and they're not missing here. It's good, it's not great. It's not as good as Bose's active noise cancellation, which I still think is probably up there with Apple as the best in terms of really having an ability to drown out sound around you. It is a bit of a shame that it's not better, but equally, I haven't been able to test it in the same scenarios. It's not like I've had them for a month and I've been on a flight somewhere, or I've even got a train due to the ongoing situation. But I did try and test them out. I actually added some sort of fake aeroplane noise to my room, and these did drown out a fair bit of it, but it's not as good as some of the competitors, especially Apple and Bose. They do have a transparency feature where it has the ability to pass through outside sounds with the microphones. I think it's fine. It's nothing special, but it sounds all right. So, you know, the transparency feature is great if you're doing sport, if you need to hear what's going on around you. For instance, you're in an office situation. So it's good to have it. It's not, again, not as good as Bose, but I think that comes down to it's all really the same technology. If your active noise cancellation is fantastic, your pass-through is probably going to be good as well. The charging case and build materials is something I do want to address. Now, these are a bit plastic fantastic. They don't feel premium. They don't feel £350. The only thing that I really like is the touch sensor on the side of the earphone, and that really does look cool. I think it's a piece of metal that's been really nicely cut. If it's plastic, that's certainly fooled me. The rest of this is plastic. It is quite weighty. You can feel there's some technology in here. It's just not as smart as perhaps it could be. The charging case, yeah, this really leaves a lot to be desired. I don't know if you saw my other comparison, but I really hate this case. It's quite big, it feels so plasticky, and the lid is so flimsy. This will get broken at some point if I were to use these daily. I can guarantee it. It's too flimsy. The case should have been made a bit more premium, in my opinion, especially £350. It's the exact same case, except for a different top and a tiny bit more technology in it than the PI5, so there's no real differentiation there if you choose one or the other. The case does hide one little special feature though, and it's a cool feature that I haven't seen before. Now, in the box, you get a USB-C to USB-C cable. Great, pretty standard for charging. You also get a USB-C to 3.5mm jack. Now, that is not to plug into your headphones, logically enough, but you can actually use this as a retransmitter. That's a really clever function. So you plug the USB-C cable into the bottom, plug your 3.5mm jack into your source, and hey presto, this can transmit the signal to your headphones. It's a cool feature. It's activated by a single button on the charging case. I like it and it works, having tested it. If you have an older source like a radio or a mini disc player, for instance, that you want to stream from, you can do it. And the quality is very good. The quality is good because Bowers and Wilkins has added some really cool wireless technology to this. You've got full Qualcomm aptX adaptive, which gives you high resolution sound. Thank you to, I can't remember which user it was, but someone commented the specific differences between PI5 and PI7 on the comparison. I then went and did a bit more research about it, and yeah, it's basically Qualcomm aptX adaptive, which gives you really nice 24-bit sound quality. So 24-bit is high resolution sound. It means it's a much higher bit rate, much more quality moving through the Bluetooth connection. So that's quite a cool feature to have. Not every single device has it. In fact, if you will have noticed Apple talking about upgrading Apple Music to high definition audio or higher quality audio, that's what they're talking about, 24-bit essentially. That is the higher resolution audio that you can get. So that's really cool that they have that as well. The other aspect of having a set of headphones is you're probably going to use it to make phone calls, especially at the moment with COVID, if you're working from home, for instance. The microphones in here are okay. They're not amazing, but I've recorded a quick sound test so you can give them a listen and see what you think.
This is an audio test with the Bowers and Wilkins PI7 in-ear wireless headphones. This is what you'd sound like if you're making a phone call with the PI7s in your ears.
So that's what the headphones sound like if you're making a phone call. The microphone's okay. Not amazing, but not terrible either. I definitely think it's usable. If I just put them in my ears, just to give you an idea, one thing I do like is the design-wise, they don't protrude too far from your ears. That is something which can quite often be the case. They're fairly flat, but they're not too flat. So They're a good design, they're easy to get in and out. It must be said, it's easy to grab onto this circular side to pull them out, so that's quite nice. But overall, design-wise, they look all right and they feel all right inside your ears as well. They do come in black, but they both have this bronze top, which denotes the difference between the PI5 and PI7s. They also come with two different, well, three total, but two additional ear tips, just to give you the right size. I have to admit, that almost feels a bit stingy, just because I've been seeing more and more ear tips being shipped with these products. It's okay, I could find a good fit with the mediums that came on them, but perhaps you'd want some other sizes, in which case you will be out of luck. One thing I also noticed is that inside the actual driver, you've got a bit of foam which you can take out in case it gets dirty. Quite a nice touch, giving the ability to actually clean these headphones better than you would if sort of some earwax got stuck deep inside them and you wouldn't be able to get it out. That's an issue I always had with Shaw's in-ear monitors, which came with a little metal scraper to get earwax out, which A, was disgusting, and B, was never really efficient in terms of clearing it all out of the headphone. This is a much better solution. I presume you'll be able to replace that tiny bit of foam if you need to. I'm sure that Bowers and Wilkins will probably sell some to you if you need it. The connection with the Bluetooth system is fine. I managed about 10 meters away without any issues, through some walls as well without problems. The signal is strong and I didn't have any dropouts, which is nice. And that brings us on to the headphones app. Now I'm going to record my screen on the phone so you can see exactly what I'm doing and just show you some of the options that you get. So the headphones app itself is fairly basic, to be honest with you. You get a toggle for auto mode in noise cancellation, or you can switch auto mode off. You can also switch noise cancellation on and off as well, which gives you the choice of whether you actually want to have it. I did find that it didn't really impact the sound quality if I had it on and off, which is nice to know. Ambient pass-through allows you, as I said, to pass through sounds around you through to the headphones, so it's good to have that as an option. And again, it works quite well. You can adjust exactly how much pass-through you want or how little. So if you're cycling, for instance, and just want to be able to hear the sort of bare minimum of road noise, you can do. But if you are in a setting where you need to understand every word, you can switch it all the way up and hear everything around you. And it does work, even if it does diminish sound quality a little bit. At the top, you'll also notice you have the battery status for the headphones and indeed for the case too. On the second page, you just have the connections that you currently have active. Obviously, I just have my iPhone here. Then the Bowers and Wilkins app also has a variety of soundscapes. So should you wish to listen to the ocean or a stream or a forest, it's sort of built in. I guess they're kind of like sleep sounds. I guess that's very in at the moment. So that's something you have the option with as well. Lastly, you have the core settings, so you get the ability to update the software, you get the ability to switch on the wear sensor. Now the wear sensor switches music on and off as you take your headphones in and out, so quite useful if you take an earphone out that it switches off the music and therefore you don't, for instance, miss where you're listening to in a podcast. And then you also have the name of the headphones that you can change and some about info. Now, something which you might notice is that there is no EQ settings. So you can use the core EQ settings from your phone, so you can go into the settings app and change that, but you can't actually do anything beyond it. It doesn't have any custom EQ settings. I haven't seen that before. If I think about the Cambridge Audio Melomania Touches, they had really nice detailed EQ settings you could change. Even on the Sennheiser Momentums, although it wasn't as detailed, you could make some changes. On this, Bowers and Wilkins says no. Really weird choice, because to be frank, everyone's listening habits are going to be different and different music can sometimes require a tweak to the EQ. It's surprising you can't change it. The bass EQ is very good, but I'm just surprised that you don't get any say at all on what it is. So there we have it, the Bowers and Wilkins PI7s. I think these headphones are excellent. In fact, I'd say of the wireless noise cancelling headphones I've tried, these are the best. I prefer them to Apple AirPods Pros as a result of the better sound quality, which I think is the biggest difference. They may not have the best noise cancellation, they may not have some of the best features on the app, for instance, but overall they deliver across the board. If you're considering either the PI7s or the PI5s, buy the PI7s and avoid the PI5s. But I will be uploading a full review of the PI5s as well, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. On that note, if you have any questions about these headphones, please do pop them in the comment section below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can click the other button, although I always would love to hear why you didn't, if you didn't, because it's useful for me to update my content in the future. And equally, as I said, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. More videos on the PI5s as well as some other cool headphones, so make sure you don't miss out. Thank you very much for watching, and I do hope I see you again next time. Goodbye.